Hey, you, come closer if that blade isn't just for show.
What's wrong?
Wolves, third night running they come for my animals. First a sheep, then a goat.
Why not handle it yourself?
Because I'm old, not stupid. One wolf, fine, but there's a whole pack of them. Kill them. They keep close to the farm and come back the moment it's dark.
A job like this needs proper pay.
Ha! Animals torn to pieces and you're haggling over coin.
Wolves won't die out of the goodness of my heart.
Fine, 20 coins and a cut of meat. Kill them all and I'll add 10 more. The wolves have grown bold, the devils.
The wolves are dealt with. Now about my pay.
You don't forget to bargain, do you? All of them.
Every last one near the farm, as agreed.
A deal's a deal then. 30 coins and the cut of meat I promised. Hard coin honestly earned.
Hi. In this video, I'll show you how to install the plugin and integrate it into your game. From an empty project to a fully playable quest with a voiced MetaHuman NPC. For this demo, I'm using Unreal Engine 5.8, the latest version. But the plugin supports every engine version from 5.6 and up. Let's create a new project. I'll use the third-person template with desktop as the target platform. I'm going with C++ here, but a blueprint-only project works just as well. Name the project and hit Create. First, make sure the MetaHuman plugins are enabled. I'll also enable MetaHuman Creator, so I can build the characters for this demo right inside the editor. After enabling the plugins, restart the project. Now, let's install the plugin itself. We strongly recommend copying it into your project's plugins folder. Go to the folder where your engine is installed. In my case, that's Program Files, Epic Games, then the engine version. From there, open Engine, Plugins, Marketplace, and find the plugin. In your project's root, create a folder called Plugins if it doesn't exist yet, and copy the plugin into it. Restart the project one more time, and confirm the plugin shows up and is enabled in the Plugins window. To open Quest Studio, you have two options. The easiest one is the toolbar icon. One click and Quest Studio opens. You can also find it in the Tools menu. As you can see, the library already contains sample quests. If you don't need them, feel free to delete them. If you want to see where they live, go to your project folder, then Plugins, open the plugin folder, and look in the Docs Samples directory. Open any sample, and you'll see how a quest file is structured. You can edit these files in any text editor, but it's much easier to do everything through Quest Studio. Any change you make here shows up immediately. Before we set up our first quest, we need MetaHuman characters. Let's open MetaHuman Creator and make one for the player. Pick any preset you like. I'll take this guy. We need the full rig, and don't forget to download the textures. You can customize anything you want, but for this demo, I'll keep the defaults. Let's assemble the character. Now let's create a second MetaHuman. This one will be our NPC. Again, pick a preset, download the textures, and assemble. And don't forget to save. In my case, everything's saved automatically. That's just my editor settings. In your case, press Save All. We have our characters, so let's go back to Quest Studio and pick a quest. I'll use Night Visitors. Here you can see the name of the NPC. In this quest, it's Bran. You can add extra NPCs if your quest needs several speakers, but in our case, Bran is the only one. The defaults are fine here, so let's save. Next, the Cast section. Expand the additional settings and pick our NPC blueprint, NPC Bran. Notice that the studio immediately tells you which extra steps are required. I'll reparent the MetaHuman to the character class and assign the default animation blueprint to the body. Then just press Auto Setup. The remaining warnings, graphs, and barks will be resolved in the next step when we build. Now, the Voice tab. This is where all the dialogue lines live. First, we need to choose a voice provider, and you have two options, a cloud provider or a local one. I'll pick the local one because it's completely free. For that, you first need to download the OmniVoice Studio repository from GitHub. The link is in our documentation on the website. Clone it or download the archive, whichever you prefer. You can set it up and run it manually, or let the plugin do it for you. If I test the connection right now, you'll see an error. That's because the server isn't running yet. So I'll paste the path to the downloaded repository and press Setup and Launch. In the background, it performs all the necessary steps and starts the server. Let's wait for the setup to complete. Done. The setup is finished. Test the connection again, and now it's reachable. Next, press the Fetch Voices button. This pulls the list of all voices available in OmniVoice Studio. Now we can assign them. For Bran, I'll pick this voice, and for the player, I'll stick with this one. You can press the Test button at any time to hear how a voice sounds.
Hello, this is how this voice sounds.
Hello, this is how this voice sounds.
From here, you could generate the audio line by line, generate everything or only the missing lines. But let's skip that because I want to show you how to generate everything in one go, with a single button. That button lives in the Build tab. Everything is ready, so let's press it. The build generates all the necessary assets, dialogue, voiceover, facial animation, and links them to our NPC and player characters. Let's wait for the generation to finish. And done. First, let's look at the game mode and note the player controller class. We'll need it in a moment. Let's also open the template character and check which input actions it uses, because we'll reuse them in our own player character to walk around and try the quest. Here they are. So these are the actions we're going to reuse. Now, back to Quest Studio. Press Setup and set our BP player as the player pawn. You can see right away that there are errors. We'll fix them. Let's also pick the controller, the one the current game mode on this map already uses, the third-person player controller. Every entry shows errors, and some of them can be fixed automatically. Just press Fix All. But notice the player character is still flagged. That's because it's still a plain actor. That's how MetaHuman Creator creates it. The NPC was fixed automatically, but the player we need to fix by hand. Let's open it and reparent it to our game's base C++ character class. Next, adjust the mesh transform, location, and rotation. Then, assign the base animation blueprint to the body mesh. And finally, hook up the input actions we saw earlier so our character can actually move. Next, let's open the base animation blueprint, because there's a control rig node here that we'll need to disable. Let me show you why. The default template character walks just fine, but if we assign our BP player instead and hit play, you'll see the legs look odd and don't move the way they should. That's because the MetaHuman skeleton is missing the IK bones this rig expects. So for now, we'll simply disable the node. In your own project, you'll know best how to set this up properly. Let's return to Quest Studio and press Setup one more time. Now we can fix all the remaining problems for good, and the required components are attached to our BP player automatically. If we open it, we can see them. Quest dialog, dialog actor, interaction, interaction prompt, all in place. You can also see the dialog slot distances. These are used by the standard cameras the dialog cuts between. All of this is configurable, so feel free to tune it to your taste. Let's test it. Walk up to Bran and start the conversation.
Hey, you, come closer, if that blade isn't just for show.
What's wrong?
Wolves, third night running they come for my animals, first a sheep, then a goat.
Why not handle it yourself?
Because I'm old, not stupid. One wolf, fine, but there's a whole pack of them. Kill them. They keep close to the farm and come back the moment it's dark.
I'll help. Where are the wolves?
Head behind the farm, to the edge of the woods. If you don't see them at once, wait a while.
How many are there?
3 for certain. Count the rest yourself if they decide to step out of the dark.
As you can see, everything works. The camera cuts, the characters talk with full voiceover, and the facial animation is
The
running.
wolves have grown bold.
We accept the
devils.
quest. And by the way, you can open the journal at any time by pressing J. Bran asks us to deal with the wolves near the farm. Let's create the wolf. A simple actor blueprint is enough. I'll call it wolf. Inside, we first set a mesh, so we can actually see it in the level, and add a collision. A box collision is fine. Now we need to tell the quest system that the wolf has been dealt with. Bind an event to the overlap. When something overlaps, we check that it's our player. Get player pawn. If it is, we get the quest subsystem and call its report objective event function. The instigator is our character. The event type matches the objective. If you open the quest in the studio, you'll see the goal type is kill. We also need to specify a tag. Let's register a new gameplay tag. And here's an important rule. Whenever you change anything in a quest, the studio tells you it needs to be rebuilt. Always rebuild and make sure the quest is green. Otherwise, you're likely to run into issues. Back in the wolf blueprint, let's finish up. After a small delay, we destroy the actor. And one more thing. Always provide a unique event ID. The system uses it to make sure each kill is only counted once. You can simply pass the object's display name, which is unique, or provide your own ID if you prefer. Compile and save. Let's place a few wolves in the level and test. The quest is already active. The system remembered it. Touch the wolf, and it's terminated. The objective updates. Now let's return to Bran and turn the quest in. He thanks us and hands over the reward. The full loop works.
The wolves are dealt with.
All of them.
The ones near the farm won't trouble anyone again.
Good, then my animals live to see the morning.
You promised a reward.
I remember, here, coins and meat, not much but honestly earned.
This quest is part of a chain, the farmland storyline. Don't forget to set up the next quest in the chain, otherwise it won't appear for this NPC. And finally, I strongly recommend taking a look at the settings. Open project settings and find the plugin section. For example, right now I click to advance through the dialogue, but you can switch it to automatic and control how fast the lines go by. There are a few extra options too. For instance, whether the quest history is saved automatically. Keep in mind that all of these can be changed right here. That's it. In about half an hour, we went from an empty project to a fully voiced, playable quest chain. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.